Okay, quick update on the Z80 computer. In the previous video, I had it running some instructions on a one-time programmable ROM that I didn't program. So it was basically running some code that I had no control over. I wasn't really satisfied with that. I mean, I want to write my own assembly code for this thing. So I got an EEPROM and an EEPROM programmer, as you can see right here, and I've started writing my own assembly code. So for a first program, since I'm really still learning assembly, I wrote a program that calculates a simple mathematical sequence, and that's a Fibonacci sequence. In case you don't know what that is, this is a Fibonacci sequence. Each number in the sequence is the sum of the two numbers before it. So you can see 0 plus 1, which 0 and 1 you just have to set as the first numbers in the sequence, but the sum of those is 1. Then 1 plus 1 is 2, 1 plus 2 is 3, 2 plus 3 is 5, and you see how the sequence works. So it's very simple. And because we have 8 bits, and the highest 8-bit number is 255, the highest number in the sequence that we can store on the computer is 233. So the program I wrote calculates the sequence up to 233. So what I do is I write this in Z80 assembly code. Here's a quick screenshot of the code I wrote. I'm not going to go into a whole bunch of detail explaining how this assembly code works. There's some really good resources online for learning Z80 assembly. But anyways, you can see it's not a very big program. It's only 39 lines of code. So what I do is I write this code, and then on this website, it has an online assembler. So it converts this code into a binary file, which I then download. Once I download the binary file, I have another program that I use for the programmer. So I'll go to that really quick. So here's the program I use to actually write this code to the EEPROM. And what you can see here is the same program, but these are the actual hex values that are going to actually be written to the EEPROM. So basically, when I want to program it, I just stick the EEPROM here, and I use the software I just showed you to write the program to it. And then I take that EEPROM, and it's right here, right there. I stick it back in, and then I just run it, and it runs the code I wrote. Now, by the way, this is actually one of the really old EEPROMs that you have to erase with UV light. You can see that little piece of electrical tape on there. That's because it's covering the window, so I don't, gradually erase my program just from UV light that's ambient, right? So when I want to erase this, I actually have to put it in the UV eraser, which is just a little box with a timer on it that shines UV light on it to erase the program. So when I need to erase a program, I just remove that little piece of electrical tape, and I stick the EEPROM in here, and I, shine light on it for about 20 minutes, and it erases the program. And then I have to reprogram it here on the programmer. So I already have the EEPROM programmed, and I'm running my code right now to calculate the Fibonacci sequence. And the Arduino is reading the outputs, which it's then displaying here. Let me open that program. Okay, hold on just a second. There we go. All right, so the this Arduino program I actually demonstrated it previously. All it does is it reads data from the data bus for the Z80. It just gives me a way to display the data. And so here, it's showing each number it reads in sequence. So you can see it goes 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, and so on. So it calculates the whole sequence up to 233. And it just does it in a loop. So when it gets to 233, it just goes back to 0 and repeats. So that's all the program does. So it's just a way to calculate this mathematical sequence. But since the program is written in assembly, the way it's doing it is it's basically doing math by loading numbers into registers in the CPU. So it's kind of it's a different way to, if you've never written assembly code before, if you're just used to high level programming languages, I mean, there's kind of a learning curve to it, but it's kind of an interesting way to write a program, because you're thinking in terms of, loading numbers into registers and manipulating those registers. So that's what it's doing here. It's just running through my assembly program, calculating the Fibonacci numbers, and repeating over and over again. So anyways, it's a good little program when you're just learning assembly, which is the stage I'm at right now. I'm still pretty much a beginner in Z80 assembly, but you got to start somewhere. Anyways, thanks for watching.